Good morning. We're doing waterfront Gulf access properties. Now, whenever I do a search, I always start with the numbers for the county. Right now in Pasco County, there are 3,800. If you look down there in the corner where my cursor is, 3,868 properties for sale. In the pendings right now, there are 1,750. So there's around, that won't show me the total. So there's around 5,500 properties available in Pasco County, of which 1,750 have a contract. And that number is down on the pendings, and it's up dramatically on the listings. So we're going to start off by looking at single family homes. And in Pasco County, there are 2,620. And now we want to look at Gulf access waterfront. So what we're going to do is we're going to very selectively pick saltwater canal. We're going to do Gulf to ocean. We're going to do river. And if anything falls through on these criteria, then we have a problem because your listing is not amongst the 186 that are currently available in Pasco County. And just for fun, let's look at them. 249,000, 250, 299. So there are 3 properties under 300 grand that are available in the county right now. For comparison purposes, and if you've watched my videos, you know it's not the actives that determine the market. It's the solds. For informational purposes, we're going to look at the pendings. This one in Beacon Square is not on the water, yet somebody's buying it thinking that this is a Gulf access waterfront property. Oops. And let's look at the solds. In the last 180 days, there have been 128 properties that have sold. What we want to do is we want to look at the most recent market, 18 properties, to get an idea of what is really going on. So this property sold in 184 days. They were asking $289,000, and they were able to sell it for $265,000. This is $294 a square foot. Here we have a property that sold in 8 days. They were asking $389,000. It sold for $375,000 at $314 a square foot. Hudson Beach, they were asking $398,000. It sold for $395,000 in 12 days. It sold for $321 a square foot. Hudson Beach Estates asking $428,000. It sold for full price in 79 days for $339 a square foot. Here we have 17 days asking $454, sold for $448. 2-bedroom, 1.5 baths, $383 a square foot. Gulf Harbors, Florimar, great subdivision, asking $499, sold for $450, $271 a square foot in 31 days, at least 31 days to go under contract. Hudson Beach Estates asking $475, sold for $469, $312 a square foot in 66 days. Leisure Beach asking $489, sold for $485. That's $298 a square foot. Look at this. No shirt, no shoes, no problems. Okie dokie. Hatteras and Sea Pines asking $499, sold for $489 in 128 days at $373 a square foot. We're going to go a little bit faster here. Drinkard, it's on the little canal off the river, 266 days, sold at $99 under the asking price, $328 a square foot. No garage. Westport, $585,000, sold for $562,000. This is the reason that you need to have a local realtor helping you in your endeavors. Westport is a unique subdivision because it is, and it's kind of weird that this map is not showing up the way that I would like it to, but let's go ahead and look at this property. This is Westport right here. And this is a subdivision that is full of wide and deep canals. The problem is when you leave this subdivision, you go out, you come into this bayou, and then what? Then you have to go over this. And this is not a channel. This is a low area full of oyster shells and oyster beds. And what you have is a lot of boats sitting out here waiting for the tide, and a lot of boats in here waiting for the tide so they can pass through this bottleneck. There is no channel. And if you're buying a 500 and something $1,000 home, 562, and you're in these big wide canals, and there's lots of boats on these canals, and you don't have a local realtor, you may not realize that these are challenged. This is very challenging waterfront, and you do not want to be in this neighborhood if you are looking for a waterfront home with Gulf access. When you can buy a home like Pleasure Isles, boom, it's got the main channel out at Hudson. This one under contract, $4,000 under the asking price at $328 a square foot in 99 days. Very nice neighborhood, very nice water. Asking $799, sold for $753. And let's just race through these because this video is going to be too long. Asking $875, sold for $875. Asking $915, sold over the asking price in 2 days. Wow, I hadn't looked at this in advance. So Marlin, great street, $1 million asking price, sold for $962,000 in 54 days. Gulf Harbors again, Florimar, sold for $389 a square foot, asking $1.1 million, sold for $1 million. And finally, another Florimar, $1.5 million, sold for $1.5 million, slightly $31,000 below the asking price in 3 days. So what we want to do now is we want to look at the pendings to get an idea of what's gone under contract. There have been 35 homes in this criteria that have gone under contract: 249,000, 290,000, 339,000. Now we cannot know what the actual price is. All we can look at here is 137 days, and this is not Gulf access, people. I'm sorry. This is a home that is in a neighborhood that is not on the water. My maps have been coming up poorly, and there it is. This is a lake, and hopefully this poor buyer is not buying this property with the idea that this is Gulf access. And just to verify, under land, it says, canal, saltwater, pond. Canal, saltwater, pond. It's kind of deceptive, and it's just not true. This is not a Gulf access property. I guess it doesn't say Gulf access. It says canal, saltwater. As long as that buyer knows they're on a lake or a pond. 61 days to go under contract. 58 days to go under contract. 51 days to go under contract. 123 days to go under contract. So we looked at the solds. Now we're looking at the pendings. If you're looking at a property, look at this acreage in Dade City, and it says that it is on the river. Okay, well, it's likely on the river. How about that? But I wouldn't call it Gulf access. Isn't that pretty? But anyway, finally, let's go ahead and look at the active listings. Because ultimately, if you're on this list, you're likely shopping. And why do you need to look at the pendings and the solds? Because that's where the market is. Here we have another one in Beacon Square that is not Gulf access. Anclote River Estates, River Run. It's about, I don't know how many, 8-10 miles to the Gulf. And this is not navigable water unless you are on a kayak. They're not even showing the water. I'm very familiar with this little canal. It's not even, they don't have one picture. Well, maybe they do. We're on page. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! There it is. It's quite a long ways to the Gulf, but this is under contract for $250,000, which works out to $235 a square foot. I mean, excuse me. We're doing the actives. All right, this is an active listing. Hudson Beach Estates, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, $280 a square foot. I'm big on square footage, and I'm big on talking about apples to apples. And how do you compare a $400,000 house to a $300,000 house? Well, you can only compare them by converting it over to list price per square foot. This is $413 a square foot. This is actually not the worst part of this channel system. Okay, if you're here, you come out here, and you come out here, and you can get out to the Gulf through this channel. Now, if you're on this one, it's a little bit different. You can't get across here because of the depth, and this is very dubious water, this driftwood property. You actually have to take this around like this, and it's very shallow right here. And then you have to come back out to here, and you go out there, here. Here's the main channel, the shrimp boat, where the shrimp boats go out. This is the main channel. But I do believe you can get out here from this one, and that you might have some problems if you have a sailboat. But if you have a pontoon boat or what have you, then you're okay. This is Cape K. Cape K also has quite a few properties that are, let's see if I go back to the map, are under the bridge at Old Dixie. So if you're looking at a property in Cape K, you don't want to be on this side because you have to go under this bridge. And this bridge is very challenging. During super low tides, there's no water. And during high tides, your boat might not fit under the bridge. There's lots of people that live back here, and they all have to deal with having boats that are very low to get under that bridge. And there are times when they can't get under the bridge. But this is on the outside of the bridge, so this is a better property. $310,000 for Cape K is $413 a square foot. Unheard of. Unbelievable. If you're going to spend that kind of money, please, you can do a lot better in a lot of these neighborhoods. Forest Hills, this is going to be on the river. Let's take a look at this. Lovely canal. A lot of the homes in Forest Hills on the river are on Darlington, which is a main road. And this is a lot better spot than being on Darlington. So you're going to get out this way. And there is a bridge right here on Flora. And it is a longish way down the Enclote River. There's the 19. Here's the sponge docks. And here's a place to go party if you have an interest in going out in your boat and hanging out with all the party people on the little island there. Okay, Sea Ranch on the Gulf, $319,000. It works out to $357 a square foot. Now, if you called me and you wanted to talk about Waterfront, I would put each one of these neighborhoods into the system to find out what the price per square foot is. The price per square foot is going to vary dramatically between the $250,000 or $300,000 houses and the homes at in the $500,000 or $600,000 range. We also have a dual market here in Pasco County. There are the homes that were built before 1993 that are on the ground, and there are the homes that are up in the air that are 2 stories. Now, this is a big insurance issue. If you're in this house, you're on the ground, and your flood insurance is going to be very expensive. I wouldn't buy a waterfront home without checking out the flood insurance. Okay, here we go. On the ground. I want to get one up in the air for comparison purposes. So we're at $380,000, and we still haven't seen one that's up in the air. Like I said, it's a dual market. So you're going to have homes built after 1993. This is a 1966 home. I'd love to see one. This is 1980, 1975, 1978, 1981, 1977, 1977. So let's see, how much is the first house that's up in the air? In 1993, we had the No Name Storm, and they changed the building codes after that. Everything built after September, October of 1993 is going to be up in the air, and these two-story houses are priced, dramatically different, more expensive than the homes on the ground. Obviously, the homes on the ground, when there is a storm surge, are going to flood. Okay, this is not waterfront. It says Anclote River is accessible. Isn't that interesting? So let's look at the map. From what I understand, most people aren't looking at this is not waterfront. Come on, people. If you've watched my videos on bad words in real estate or listing, this is a Westport property. This is that neighborhood where you can't get out during higher tide or lower tides. And even during higher tides, I understand people get out of their boats so they can lift the boat higher. And then they walk in tennis shoes over the oyster bed, kind of half carrying the boat so that it can get over the oyster bed. Look at this. Here's another Westport. $577,000 for a property that is not, it's not worth it. It's not Gulf access, and it's a real problem. Westport is probably going to sue me for saying all this, but you see, I only have 12 followers, so nobody's watching my videos. Although this video is being made for all of you that reached out on my waterfront properties I've sold over time. I've got a list. I throw content out now and then. You've probably seen it before. Let's see. This is a 1978, 1971. Okay, we've got a two-story house built in 2004. $477,000. This is $290 a square foot. So this is the first home that we can buy with, this isn't even on the water, people. Not even on the water. How can they say that? This is not Gulf access. This is not waterfront. There's a word for what that is, but that's not Gulf access water. And that explains why it's a first post-1993 home that is in this price range. All right, we're on property number 70, and we still haven't seen a real two-story property that's got Gulf access. Look at all of these homes. If we had a storm surge like we did in 1993, here's another Westport home. $499,000. It's $285 a square foot. Look, if you want to sit in your backyard and fish, if you want to sit and ride around in a little boat up and down the canals, but if you want to go out in the Gulf, you are not going to find this acceptable. Certainly not for $500,000. Sea pines on the ground, Fifth Isle, Neptune, Grand View. This was built in 1960. It is two stories. Now, the difference is on the two-story properties, you're going to see that the pre-1993 homes have a build-out where there's drywall or a bathroom or what have you. There's living area. On the fall of 1993 properties, you're not allowed to have anything built out. Now, there are neighborhoods that have properties that are built out on the ground floor that are post 1993, and they're uninsurable, and they're a violation of FEMA code, and they're a violation of Pasco County building codes. And I can tell you from personal experience, the county can come in there and they can give a demolition order for the downstairs if it's been illegally built out. And it's a big deal if you have to take out a couple thousand square feet of living area. So this is a 1989 home. Now that means the downstairs can have drywall. It means your flood insurance is going to be much higher than if this was a post-1993 home. It is insurable downstairs because it is up to the building code when it was built. This is just, to me, this is amazing. We're at the 106th waterfront property, and we still haven't seen a single one. All right, here we go. Fair Lane. Oh, I know these properties. These two properties were developed by a gentleman that I know, and he built these. Look at that property. I know this property. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my brother sold this property the first time. Yes, 7131 Fair Lane. How interesting. This is challenging water. Let's go ahead and look at the access. So you come out here, and this is not a very well maintained, but it is Gulf access. And as long as you don't have a sailboat, look at that. There are hardly any boats on these canals. There's a couple there, but this is not great water. But this is a great house. They spent a fortune building it, and now they're asking $624,000, $329 a square foot, and it was built in 2020. All right, I'm gone way too far. I invite you to reach out to me. Where's my? There I am. If you have any interest in talking real estate, I'm here to compete for your business. I'm not the most engaging, but I do know real estate. I make a lot of videos, and I would love to compete for your real estate business. Have a great day.